Welcome to I Finally Get It. This week we have Allison Brandon with Wonderland Academy. Joining me in studio as always, Dustin Webb, our producer. I'm your host, Jeff Martin. Let's get it.
I feel like right now at the phase that I'm in business is that you have to really find your people. I feel like having the right people surrounding you is so important, and I'm so happy with my team right now. I feel like we're gelling. I've worked really hard, and sometimes the answer isn't super obvious in who needs to be surrounding you, but when you get it, it feels so right.
You're good. You're good.
I think that people on my team is what I feel like I get it.
So let me ask you, because there's these philosophies. Mm-hmm. Do you hire for the job or do you hire for the culture? And would you say you hire people first, then train them into what they can do, or do you need certain experts in your work? My
industry is so niche, and what we do is so, it's not run of the mill. So I feel like it's personality and culture first, and that I'm meeting people because of the industry. Yeah. They're already kind of in my orbit, and so they're around me because they understand theater and or kids. So that part's kind of taken care of, and so I feel like finding the person that fits the culture is definitely important. I'm trying to think of it's not an acronym. It's just, GWC. It's just letters, but the get it, want it, capacity to do it. Yeah. That's like the rule, right? That's
exactly right. And if you don't get it, then you shouldn't be there. If you don't want it, you shouldn't. And if you don't have the capacity to do it, then you got to go.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
That makes it really obvious. And so defining the culture has been a process. And now that we have that in place, it's really easy to see literally and figuratively the writing on the wall, because we have our core values right there up on the wall.
I love that. Good
and, if you don't get it, want it, and have the capacity to do it, then you got to go.
There you go. You preaching, girl. Hey, so how long have you been? We're going to talk about Wonderland and what you've been doing, but when did you start Wonderland?
Wonderland started in 2017 officially.
Okay. We're at 7 years now?
Oh, gosh. Yeah. We're going on to 7 years.
So as far as that people thing, how long did it take you? How long did you struggle a little bit with?
Yes. Yeah. I struggled with that a lot because I am really open-minded and I love people, and I don't want to ever hurt anyone's feelings. So being in a position of having to sometimes have hard conversations took me a while to get to a place where I was comfortable doing it. Now I would say that I still have feelings about it, but I've gotten so much better. And I would say it's been about 1.5 years that I could say that I actually feel more comfortable having those hard conversations with people. And they really oftentimes don't go as badly as you think. Yeah,
we think about it and we overthink because they are uncomfortable. But the more clarity you find on your vision and your mission, the easier it is to have those conversations.
Absolutely.
Because they're not acting part of it.
I find that people typically are either expecting it or they're so appreciative that you've brought something to the forefront for them. Yeah. And sometimes they can stick around. Change
because
it.
They can grow.
Yeah. So sometimes it turns out so much better than you think it's going to, but it's really hard to get in the right headspace for it sometimes, especially when it's somebody you really, really care about.
Yeah.
So I found that to be a challenge.
Let's talk about Wonderland Academy, because I can tell you from an outsider, you're making a difference in the world.
Thank you.
You really are. And I love the concept. How did it all happen?
I just have a huge passion for theater. And I know that I wish that I had found live theater before I did. I didn't perform in a musical until I was 18. I grew up in choir, and I grew up a dancer, and I'm so thankful for those two art forms, and how they shaped me. But I just wanted to give the kids in this next generation, my own daughter included, a chance to do musical theater before they got to be an adult. Yeah. And so that's always been, at the forefront of it, and how the ball got started to, roll down the street. But how it all happened, where it started and where it is today is so vastly different.
Which is great.
I never expected to have my own theater space. That's a fun story about how that all kind of unraveled. And I'm so glad that I do. But, when you say yes to something, you really have to be prepared to throw yourself all in way more than 100%. So many sleepless nights and many worries later, we're still here. And thank you for saying that we're making a difference, because that's what keeps me going.
you are. You are. So it's your why. And a big part originally was probably for the kids.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
But now you're doing things with kids, adults, and everywhere in between.
And it's so much bigger than me. So that's why team is so important to me, because I don't have all the knowledge and the abilities, and the world is changing so quickly. I need people that are by my side that can figure things out that I'm not capable of. I know my strengths, I know my weaknesses. And so I try to find people that, fill in the gaps where I'm not able to shine.
Yeah, sure.
And that's just really, it's a puzzle you always have to figure out how to put together.
How many people do you have on your team now?
For everyday office hours, I've got myself and 3 others. And then we luckily have Mr. James, who chooses to spend his retirement with us, and he builds sets for our shows. And so he's around with us a lot. So he's kind of like the unofficial 4th member of that. But then, or 5th member if you count me. And then as far as teachers go, I have 12 that
12
come in.
teachers.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. So some of them teach almost every afternoon. And then some just come in once a week because they love to be around the kids and they want to share their craft. So we have 12 teaching artists, and some of our teaching artists also work in the office. So there's a lot of crossover. Like I said, theater's really niche. So people that fall into this world have a lot of different skill sets and a lot of things to bring to the table, but we're a rare breed.
Forgive me here,
Sure.
but I think of this like a dance studio almost, where you have the dance studio, you have these teachers, instructors that come in, and then you're putting on performances, right?
Right. It's
but
similar in structure.
Yeah. So tell me though about the offerings, because I'm very intrigued, and I know anybody listening is going to be like, wait, I need to probably sign up. I'd like to know what offerings kids can do, and if it's more than theater, if it's singing, I have no idea. So if you can tell me.
Absolutely. So there's all kinds of different genres that fall under the umbrella of performing arts.
Yeah.
I think that once kids have tried a few things such as soccer, karate, other sports or competitive dance or other just activities, they might be like, oh, well, those didn't really work for me, but maybe I want to try theater. Maybe they're an outgoing kid. Maybe they're an introverted kid, but they just want to try that out. And so when I think of a kid coming in, I think of all the things they might be interested in under that umbrella of performing arts. And there are plenty of dance studios in this town that do dance so well. So when I'm going to mention dance under that umbrella, we're the dance class for non-dancers, the one that more like character, the big movement, tell a story with your body and your emotions. So we offer acting, we offer musical theater, we offer dance for those non-dancers, those character kids. Yeah. And we also have like voice lessons, piano, guitar, ukulele. And then we have a playwriting class. We do all kinds of fun things that just as interests pop up with the kids, we listen, we survey them, we want to cater to what they're into. So right now we're planning for fall already, and we just sent out a survey asking them, what characters are you into? What books are you reading? What movies are you interested in? What series have grabbed your attention? Because we know what we can teach them, but we want it to be interesting to them. It's like putting vegetables in the spaghetti, develop it under a theme that they're really, really going to gravitate towards. So for instance, they're really into Harry Potter, right? So we have a wizardry school class, and we teach music and acting and storytelling and just creative collaboration with that theme in mind. And just so happens we have an expert Hufflepuff on our staff that creates a whole wizardry world for class. And we also offer a summer camp with that theme, because it never gets old, and there's always something new and interesting you can do. And if it does ever get to be, where we need to pick a new theme, we can do that. And so we're exploring those themes for the fall right now. And some kids are really into Pokemon. So we're like, how do we create a class that's, gonna cater to those kids that are really interested in that and they want to come and pretend to be these Pokemon characters. Like we have the freedom to do that. It's really fun, really cool. And so we just try to stay interesting to them, all the while teaching them character development, that self-discipline that it takes to come memorized when you're supposed to and have your materials with you. I learned so much from performing as a young person, like just being accountable, being there for my teammates and my castmates. That just taught me so much. So and also we teach in the realm of Stanislavski acting technique as well. So using real acting techniques, but in a way that can be interesting to kids is kind of our goal, if that makes sense.
So I hit when I have a light bulb moment. There's a big lesson here, and this is why you're winning. This is why you're successful. Is you said new and interesting, and you also said, and we have the freedom to do that. I'm going to tell you, every company has the freedom to do it, right? I don't care what you're in, but you are taking advantage of it. And I bet you probably, when you envisioned what Wonderland was going to be, there's no way you knew it would get here, and it's probably because you're open to change and you want to keep it new and interesting for the kids.
Absolutely.
That's a huge lesson for everybody.
Definitely. Oh, well, thank you.
So everything you're doing is for the kids, and I love that. But you also have offerings for adults. Can you tell me about that? Yeah.
So we're moving toward categorizing the 3 big things that we do a little bit differently for the community to digest it a little bit easier. And it took me a while to realize how much was going on and how the need for categorizing it for my own sanity. But we have Wonderland Academy. That encompasses our after school programming, our camps, our workshops, and all of our kids' productions. I ended up owning a theater space and studio space that is a venue, and I want the community to feel welcome to come and rent it and use it. So we refer to that as Wonderland Center for Performing Arts, and we've been able to stage many productions outside of Wonderland Academy on that stage, and it's so fantastic and rewarding to see that. Actually, a girl that I grew up dancing with, Bree Castro, she owns the ballet studio. She came in and brought her students in, and they performed on my stage. That's where I grew up dancing. And so like to see her, she was, a peer of mine, and now she owns the ballet studio, and I'm able to provide a venue for the next generation of ballet dancers to come and perform at Christmas time. I mean, it brought tears to my eyes. It was just such a wonderful, rewarding experience. So we definitely want people to be utilizing our space. And then we have our nonprofit sister company called the Looking Glass Theater Company. And that is the focus of that company is to provide theater opportunities for adults in Lafayette.
Wow. So
there's a lot going on.
You do anything with improv at all?
Actually, there's a couple of improv troupes in town that are really good at what they do. So we have offered from time to time adult improv, but I think that as to not step on their toes too much and to just keep doing what we do best. That's something that I've learned also is stick to your strengths. And
there's a light bulb.
Light bulb.
And
improv is not necessarily my strength. I definitely have people on my staff that love to do improv, but they also do a lot of other things really, really well. And I feel like if it's already being offered well in the community, then send people over there, stay in your lane. So you got to try things out. The reason we've made the discoveries that we've made is because we've tried new things out. But at the same time, if it's already being done well by somebody else and there's no need for you to take that from them, then, you just send people their way and pay it forward.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. You're doing great things. You have the center, you have the academy. What's been a kind of a struggle? Have you had to struggle through anything to figure something out?
Yes.
Like what?
Absolutely. Oh gosh. I think, finances are always just at the front of mind. And, as a business owner, you're always faced with things that need improvement, or someone's trying to sell you something that's going to make your life so much better and easier and yada, yada. And I've just pump the brakes on all of that. And I really don't fall for people that say they're gonna make my life so much easier if I just buy this thing that they're
this
offering
one
me.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah. I think really trying to just like digest the problem and then working with my team on the inside of like, how can we identify a solution to this problem ourselves and when to give it to Jesus and say, it's not even for us to worry about today.
Yeah.
We're just going to put that on a little shelf. And if it falls off the shelf in a little while, we'll look at it again.
Yeah.
But I think that's just such a good lesson to learn and something that, you know, I wish I would have gotten sooner.
I know where GWC comes from.
Yeah.
You know, the book Traction up there.
Yes, I see it on your shelf.
EOS. I was an EOS implementer for years. And then you also mentioned your brother before we started talking. You have mentors and people that you're able to go to outside.
Absolutely.
And so you're utilizing that. And I would say keep that up too. That's really great. Has he been your biggest influence, or who has been your biggest influence?
So it's my brother-in-law. His name's Scott Laverne. He owns Enterprise Data Concepts. It's a local company. He's been just somebody that has, I guess, watched me from afar for quite some time and sees himself in me. And he's on the other side of the struggle, and he wants to make my struggle a little easier. So what he did is he told me about EOS and Traction, and we started meeting, just him and I, to go over the things that were glaring problems, because everybody's got those, right? And then we brought my team in and we started implementing the EOS structure. And we're going on year 3.
Yeah.
And my team is just so used to it. We have our weekly L10 meetings. Yep. We have our quarterly EOS all day meetings. And it has been so wonderful. Like we track all of our data and we can see patterns now that we couldn't see before. Cause you know, I don't know if it comes from that book, but he calls it the muscle and feel, you know, just muscle and feeling your way through, trying to do your best and hope that it all works out. And
so good.
He always says a watch number always improves. So those are the little sayings in my mind that I tell myself every day. A watch number always improves. We're not muscle and feeling anymore. We're headed for traction, you know, and I think that a big thing that I'll always tell myself too is that there's no end to the journey. Like when people say like, when you arrive or there's no arrival. You're just always trying to improve the thing that you love until you die.
Yeah. And even when you arrive somewhere, you need to look out farther and keep going, because what you're doing is so important. And everybody is doing something important.
Absolutely.
But they don't see it because their head's too far in it, right?
Yeah. So a mom just sent me a picture of her kid on it's like the dress up day for school when you go as
free dress or something.
Who you want to be when you grow up.
Oh, okay.
And they went as me. And
no
I was like,
way.
What? So they had their Wonderland shirt on and they made a little like face microphone out of a pom-pom and a little pipe cleaner.
Oh, that's
and
outstanding.
Went to school as me. And so I think like just being able to be a good role model to the next generation and a woman that girls look up to and can say like, and not just girls, but I am a girl. So I'm thinking it's the girls that are probably looking at me in this light is, you know, she's doing that thing that she loves and I can do that too. So I feel a big responsibility to keep doing it.
Yeah. You mentioned little girl. She's cute as she can be. And I've seen her like on Facebook and when y'all have performances and stuff. What does she think about Mama and what does she think about Wonderland? Oh,
you know, I don't think she'd lie to me. She says that she has the best mom. Yeah. And like, I just, you know, I try. I don't think that I'm the best, but she loves it. She loves performing. She knows that she's not going to get a lead role in every show. She knows that she has to work for it just like everybody else. And I love when I have other directors come in and I have nothing to do with the audition or the casting process and she nails it, you know, just for herself. And she gets to know that it's not because of me. It's because of her.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about. It's really fun to watch her grow.
Yeah.
through it all.
And you know what? You're doing so many things with this company. She'll model this for the rest of her life. So you are impacting your own children's lives and other kids' lives.
Thank you.
And it's beautiful to watch.
The thing about performing is that it's definitely an unconventional career path.
Yeah.
And I would not necessarily say that very many people who do it as a kid are going to, I mean, it's just like any professional sport or anything like that. That's not why you're doing the thing. You're doing the thing so that it teaches you all the things you need to be a wonderful contributor to society someday, and that you learn how to be a part of something bigger than yourself, and you learn how to get along with people and be part of a team, and that's, you know, every kid's going to benefit from that. No kid can be harmed from those, gaining those qualities. And so I don't expect her to go on and have a career in performing by any means, but I do see a lot of confidence. She, really shines at school. She's able to get up in front of her entire school for chapel and give a presentation and speak her mind. And she gets that from what we do. And I love that, I don't have to, it doesn't come from lectures. It doesn't come from, sit down, we have to talk about this. It comes from her experience.
No doubt about it. And, you brought up confidence, and I think there's kind of a confidence epidemic in kids. Mm-hmm. I mean, my kids, not that they're not, because they're all doing well, but there was a time when they were so scared to go ask for ketchup in a restaurant. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's like, we're going to have to talk to somebody. Because kids today, they don't talk on the phone like we did.
Right.
And it's just a different world. So I love hearing that.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that I do have a friend that I lived in the same neighborhood, same fraternity. He's been an actor in LA for 30 something years.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And I've seen him in so many different things.
Yeah.
Have you had anybody break out and go on to another level?
Well, not yet.
Because it's early days.
Right.
Still.
My kids, the ones that have graduated from the program, are like 19. So, they're still just getting started. But I don't doubt that someday somebody's going to take off and really blow us all away. When I was growing up, I could sing and dance and act, and I can't tell you how many times I heard, "When you make it big, remember me," or "Call me from Broadway." And it put a lot of undue pressure on me to think that was my only option, right? To aspire to this thing that I didn't understand, this career that I had no knowledge of, like where do you even start? And the answer is, it's different for everybody.
Yeah.
I listen to a ton of podcasts, and even on Smart List, you'll hear Chris Pratt talk about his journey, which is so different from the next famous person. And so, like, I want in what I'm teaching, I want the kids to know that it's okay to just do it for the love of it. And if this is your path, you'll know it's your path.
Yeah, correct.
And then we'll help you go to the next step by connecting you with the right people, because I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I'm up to date on all the knowledge that you need to go there. But I stay connected in the industry, and I will help people along their path by making the right connections. But I just, I wish that when talking to young people about performing would be a little bit more encouraging about the thing that they're doing right now, and not this like big deep space unknown, like when you're famous,
correct,
you're gonna make it. And we're back to that, like there's no it. What is it?
Correct. Yeah.
You're just on this journey, and like supporting people on their journey is so important.
Yeah. So you're teaching a whole lot more than theater and dance and music.
I like to think so.
What would you say you're teaching people? When it's all said and done, you peel that onion.
I think just how to be a part of something bigger than yourself is so important.
Yeah.
Being a cog within the machine.
I have to.
Light bulb.
I have to reach over.
I love it. I love the light bulb. That's great. I think that's it. And that you're not always going to be the star of every show.
Yeah.
And it's fun to be in the ensemble. It's a blast.
Contributing.
You're contributing.
Being a part of it. Yeah.
And it's art. It's moving art. You get to give people a gift of putting their phone away and forgetting about their troubles for a certain amount of time. Yeah. That's such a gift.
It is.
You get to create that.
It really is.
So fun.
Good for you.
Yeah.
What would you tell yourself 7 years ago when you started. What if you could go back 7 years and say, hey, Allison, you need to remember this? What would it be?
Talk to Scott.
Oh, your brother-in-law?
Talk to Scott sooner. He'll laugh when he hears this.
That's hilarious. So, all right, let me go back. What would you tell somebody who is starting a company that's just not your everyday accounting office, bank, business? What would you say? Just because you took a risk. What would you say to that person?
Stay diligent.
Yeah.
Be diligent. Pay attention to the details around you. They're going to be on paper. They're going to be whispers in the hall. They're going to be a phone conversation you had last week that you're still thinking about. Just, I'm a hyper vigilant person by nature, so I kind of come by it honestly. But just, it's all in the details. And I just constantly think about how the puzzle can fit together the best. I think too, like, just going back to like, it's okay to not fix it today.
Yeah.
It's okay to put it on the shelf, and it will resurface if you really need to give it attention. I go off of what I know and gut feeling about equally. I think you just really have to balance.
You do. And you know what? I call that putting it in a parking lot, because you're not ignoring it. You're putting in a parking lot, and when it's the right time, that's when we'll deal with it.
Yeah.
Because if you ignore something bad, it's going to come back to haunt you. But you're choosing when you do that.
I don't think we were actually on air when we talked about it too, but learning how to have a hard conversation is really a big part of it. I think I avoided a lot of hard conversations in the beginning that needed to be had way earlier. And so just get yourself a book or listen to some podcasts that encourage you to learn how to have hard conversations. I have a book on my shelf called Hard Conversations. And my cousin, who used to be a principal, gave that to me because, if you're in any kind of situation where you have to be in charge of people, I mean, I'm not just in charge of my staff, but I have parents, I have children, and their safety is so important to me. And so, just, you got to be ready for that.
Isn't it cool how your brother-in-law, Scott, and your cousin gives you the book? How you've had people that just want to love you and support you.
Yes.
That's
a village.
Beautiful. And it's really because you're doing such a great thing.
You got to be open to people helping you and listening to the right help. So if you're unsure, if something doesn't feel quite right, listen to your voice inside. Right.
So you come into contact with gazillion people, parents, you mentioned it.
Yes.
How do you try to leave people different and better just because they encountered you?
I always try to approach situations with grace, and I always think about, I don't know what somebody's been through that day. I don't know what they've been through last month, last year. 9 times out of 10, when I find out, it's usually something really hard. So I always assume that people are just doing their best. And I have a really close inner circle of people that I can express frustrations to in a safe space, and we laugh about it. And then that allows me to be my most gracious self outside of that inner circle. So if you're in my inner circle, thanks. But you
Shout
need
out
that
to the
too,
Yeah,
you gotta have people that you can go like, wait, what? What's going on here? Let's talk it out. And then you can address the situation. But I think like just facing people with a lot of grace and humor. I like to laugh, and even if it's tough, I try to make a little bit of light of it, because we all just need to relax a little.
We do. And you can always find funny in just about everything.
I try.
Yeah, that's good. Well, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you,
This
Jeff.
was great. Seriously.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us on I Finally Get It. To learn more about Allison and what she's up to with Wonderland Center and Wonderland Academy, visit our show notes, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. If you're a business owner or an entrepreneur and you have a light bulb moment that would help other business owners, please reach out to me at jeff@ifinallygetit.com.